Hey guys, we're getting a pretty big quality of updates that PC had recently into this patch, as well as the class balances for Nova and Sage, where they're getting tweaked down a little bit. So again, the big one is the Blackstone Revamp, which is pretty good, where you can just trade stones into stacks. If you can't find any on the market because they're sold out from the pen event, you can just take them out of +5 gear by in the market. I have a video on how to do that in case you're curious. Other changes: red battlefield enemies will show up in red on the map, so you no longer see clusters of white dots. Pretty big in my opinion. It's long been awaited. Other reworks: we're getting a 50% drop event, and there's some tweaks to the Tamer class that people should be pretty excited for if you play Tamer. Other than that, check out the video of Trent and Sherna kind of going through everything. We got some decent events, meme frags, and some other things. Take it easy, guys.
This update has quite a few of these, right? You ready? Can you remember the lines?
Yeah.
We bought you drying in the desert.
We brought you walking.
We bought you new skill UI.
We brought you the ability to move multiple things at once in and out of storages and central markets.
That's the one I was going for.
I know. What else you got? What else you got?
I've been beaten again. All right, the technology is here. Basically, a lot of this update is quality of life changes. There was supposed to be more, but
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
So this update is going to be let's call it a quality of life update.
Yeah, and it is a pretty big quality of life update. The enhancement UI has been changed, so now you can directly put Blackstones into enhancement stacks. Basically, the UI has been changed. You take Blackstones, you give it to the Black Spirit, plus sign here, and you can now add Blackstones. It comes up with the list of things you can add. Blackstone weapon, Blackstone armor, or vice versa. You cannot mix your weapon and armor to build up the stack. You have to use one or the other. So here I'm going to use the Blackstone weapon, and you can see the list of Blackstones required to make a stack. So it's 5 for 5, mostly because those enhancements, I guess, are guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then it goes up a little bit more. 53 Blackstones of weapon will help you make a 25 stack, and 84 for a 30 stack. And if you're wondering why the disparity is so high, it's because the considered silver cost has been put into the Blackstones instead of complicating it with Blackstones and silver. A huge RIP to every piece of Reblath out there right now that probably will be either devoured or just chucked. So rest in pepperonis, Reblath armor. So Altar of Blood has been taken down due to an upcoming rework.
The next one, another big quality of life update, is that pet groups have been added to Black Desert Console. For those of you that don't know, what are pet groups?
Pet groups are a way that you can easily switch between different pet groups that you have. So if you wanted to have more life skill buff pets out at a time, you can now set that to come out with group 1 or 2, and then you can switch between the pets depending on I sound different? All right, well, I'll bring it closer. But yeah, your pet groups will depend, and if you want combat focused or life skill focused, pet groups, I guess, would be next.
Yep.
As you can see, we have quite a few pets. They're all named Create Pet, and we have Bob, obviously. So what you can do is select the pet, go to set as group 1, 2, 3, and you can be in multiple groups. So if you want to use the same pet there, you can. I'm going to remove him from that group, and then you use the right stick to move across the list at the bottom, which one you have out. And oh no, I tried to select with A. That doesn't work. You have to press down the right stick to summon the pets. The central market UI, you can now re-register items listed for sale or ordered. Also, new items should show a little more clearly when they're added to your central market. So you should be able to find new items a little bit easier in the sprawl.
Yeah.
This is especially important if you're like me and put everything in your central market. Go for it.
So in terms of Ataraxian, there is a quest called the Co-op Recovered Vow. We've changed that so that you can now do the thread in it by yourself, removing the word co-op in it. And you'll have to spend 10 energy for certain supplies while proceeding with this quest. You can now do this on your own, whereas before you needed a whole bunch of people to do it.
Yeah, sure. So the daily Old Moon Subjugation quests have been modified. So we're adding new ones in. So one is just a generic defeat 3,000 monsters. Then we're adding Ataraxion-based ones, Cactum, Shuriken Daytime, and Tashira Ruins. So
And for those of you that don't know, what is the daily Old Moon Guild subjugation request?
They are for the Burning Moonlight Blackstone Powder, which will allow you to eventually get a pen accessory. It is a long-term quest. UI changes. The skill filter has been added to make it easier to find skills with debuffs. So this means if you want to find a skill in your list that has, let's say, knockdown, you can now press a button and it will highlight every knockdown skill you have.
That's been added, which was it was requested by people who like switching in and out between characters a lot. So when you switch between characters, you can check their inventory, whether it's their regular inventory or their Pearl inventory. And then when you switch character, regardless of what selection you had, inventory or Pearl inventory, it would reset back to inventory. A small quality of life change has been added where it now retains that, so you can just scroll through all of inventory versus all of Pearl or switch between the two. It will remember that input.
The minimap in Red Battlefield has been changed so that now your team will show one color and the other team will show another. This will make it easier to find people in Red Battlefield.
There's also, we added the hide UI when hit setting. So basically, you can, if you didn't want to get knocked out of UI all the time, there are certain UI elements that you won't get knocked out of anymore. You just have to toggle it, which is conversations with NPCs, Pearl Shop, customization, dice, knowledge, world map skills. And all that notice will be in the patch notes.
Yep. You can now turn off your friend and guild member logins that appear in the center of the screen. So
Changes that people have been asking for. We have reduced the weight of certain potions and recovery items by 50%. So HP pots, MP pots, WP pots, SP pots, grain juices, and herbal juices, the weight of those items have been decreased by 50%.
Yep.
Why is it 50%? Why do we decrease it?
Because they're heavy. Huge quality of life change. Anyone who grinds in the mines will know this. Crystal covered in black ash has been changed from character bound to family bound. So now you can whack those bad boys in a storage. You didn't want to do this, so I'll do this. Conquest War Changes.
Hold on. Before that, if you are going to do Valencia Part 2 questlines.
Oh, no. Nobody does Valencia.
If you're going to do Valencia Part 2,
Don't.
You can now get shabby shovels from other NPCs.
Okay, Node War and Conquest War Changes. The limits for Tier 4 Node Wars on the Flame Towers and Elephant Nurseries, both of those have been reduced by 1. So it's now 2 Flame Towers and 1 Elephant Nursery. We've combined all annexes into one item. So now you can buy, let's say, 10 of those items and then summon 10 annexes from that. That includes things like Huachas, Flame Towers, all that good stuff. So it's one item you will buy for 1 million silver from the Guild Military Shop. It will give you the one relevant to the node you are currently based on. And then it will summon, you can choose which to use. So you can choose the Huacha from it, and then it installs. You can choose the Flame Tower, then it installs. Basically, combining them all into one item just makes the UI there a little bit easier. Horses now do 10% more damage to wooden fences and fence gates with skills in Node Wars and Conquest Wars. And also the damage of the Guild Elephant has been increased by 10% on wooden fences and wooden gates with basic skills, Horn Attack, Charge Attack, 4-Chop during Node and Conquest War.
For Tamers, there was an issue where if you were to evade in pre-awakening or in succession, the camera would move along with you. That has been fixed. The other thing that has been fixed is the evasion attack, the sideways swipe, essentially. The camera no longer moves you in a circle. It actually works as intended.
So look forward to the new class Tamer.
Dude, all the combos are different now. Like, the fact that that actually works, I'm so happy.
Nova has been adjusted, as has Sage. Form Shift has had its critical rate effect removed. and then in Awakening, Bolt is no longer an invincible effect. It is now a super armor.
Event notices, they're going to start up for tomorrow-ish kind of thing. So one thing is Moonlight's Blessing playtime reward. So if you guys don't know what Moonlight Fragments are, you take a Moonlight Fragment, you take a Memory Fragment, you smash them together, and it can make more. So based on the amount of time that you play in the game, you'll be able to get these Moonlight Fragments. On weekends, this thing has been buffed, so you get 2 Moonlight Fragments in total, and going from there. So, a playtime challenge there. There's another one that's kind of difficult to explain, but not really. We're going to have a very special hot time. The special hot time is basically on season servers. The combat EXP is going to be 300% increased, and skill EXP will be 50%, whereas regular and Arsha servers will be combat EXP 200% and skill EXP plus 50%.
But if you're above level 50, it will not apply.
The combat
will not apply.
The other thing is all servers will receive a item drop rate increase by 50%.
Yeah. Except it won't stack with the current Arsha one.
Yeah,
so
it won't stack, but yeah, all servers will have that 50% increase.